No.
It's a Saturday night podcast. Me and Millan both ready for some Saturday night baseball, basketball, and hockey. Bringing on ALec Geis, a big Nats and Caps fan. We got a lot to talk about. He will be attending Old Dominion University, who will be probably attending March Madness this upcoming March. Very excited for that. Very excited for March Madness. Duke's had a rough week. We'll see what they were able to do. Can they get a 1 seed? In baseball, Bryce Harper with a big 13-year, $330 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. No trade clause, no opt-outs. Big deal for Bryce Harper. Big deal for baseball. Dallas Kuechly and Craig Kimbrell on the market. Where do they go as the regular season approaches in just 26 days? And in hockey, the Penguins and the Flyers could both not make the playoffs. A rarity. No playoff hockey in Pennsylvania. It would be a rarity, all right? Carolina and Montreal look pretty set in their two wildcard spots. The Islanders are somehow first in the Metro, and the Caps and the Blue Jackets look pretty set in the Metro also. Tampa, Toronto, and Boston in the Atlantic. I'm ready for some playoff hockey. I am ready for a Saturday night podcast.
Yeah, Nick, great intro here. Like you said, beginning of the MLB postseason, we had knowing that Harper, Machado will be on new teams. Finally, Machado on the Padres, Harper with the Phillies. We're getting your buddy ALec Geis in. Is he on right now?
He is on right now, correct?
ALec, welcome on to the podcast. Like your favorite MLB team, the Washington Nationals, got their franchise player. They left. What do you make of this?
Harper's an asshole. Yeah, I mean, honestly, besides Philly, what other teams offering a long-term deal? San Francisco, and they're rebuilding. They don't. Why want to rebuild a team for 12 fucking years? And then the Nats. And I mean, we're kind of mad, but it's also we're just kind of confused as well because like we made him, he made us the baseball town again. But like it's just pissing us off, especially that's Philly. Like we can't describe it. We'll call him like he's a snake basically. He's a snake.
Would you rather him go outside the division?
Oh, we didn't care if he left because like honestly, like our outfit's fine. Like, Soto, Robles, Eden, and Taylor. I've been saying that all off season. I'd rather have that over Harper, and they're cheaper too. I mean, Harper's getting like $30 million this year, and then the four of them combined getting $8 million. So like, and they'll be way more productive than Harper will be. And I mean, if he went to the Dodgers, like, or like other teams like the Cubs or the Giants, etc., like we didn't care as long as it's outside the division.
Yeah. I mean, I personally wanted him to go to the Brewers. That would make a filthy outfield with Yelich, Kane, and now that and supposedly Harper.
Brewers could not afford him though.
Yeah.
If they could, they would.
Yeah, that's what I said in a past video, is that if the Brewers got him, they would be insane. Obviously, I knew they were a small market team that would not sign him, but still, I feel like this is going to become a problem in baseball with these free agents taking so long. I mean, we are in spring training. We played about 10 days, 15 days of spring training. This is ridiculous that this is still happening. And Harper probably won't suit up until later this week, possibly against the Yankees on Wednesday, maybe the Yankees on Thursday, possibly the Braves on Friday. But still, he won't suit up till later this week, and it's a shame. But it seems that Harper is pretty excited to be in Philadelphia, and it seems like
I think kind of just ran out of options. Like, what are the best options for him?
and they are the best option. I mean, I don't have a doubt about that.
I think when I see Harper in Philly, like I just don't like it. I mean, yeah, it may be a good ballpark for him to hit, but like his defense is terrible. I can finally admit that he's one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. Like that's another good thing about the Nats getting rid of him. The outfield is like gonna be very defensive and very good, but also it's like I just don't see him in Philly. Like I just don't see him there. Like I know he's there. I gotta suck it up. And he's like, even when people say he's gonna go to Philly, I'm just like, no. Like, why would you go there? Like, it just doesn't seem right for him. Well, it just seems weird that he would choose Philly.
Yeah.
Again, his only option.
And that's the thing with McCutchen leaving. He went to the Giants, which was fun. He went to the Giants, but then he went to the Yankees, going to the AL, and I just did not see him going to the Yankees. And he looked disgusting in pinstripes.
He got traded, though. She had no choice.
Yeah, and he just looked nasty in pinstripes. And I know Harper chose this a Philadelphia team, and I'll be joining McCutchen. That'll be a pretty good outfield with McCutchen and Harper.
No, McCutchen's on the downside of his career.
He is 31 years old. I don't know how that's the downside. The athletic prime goes till you're 33, so that
Now,
makes absolute zero
well, yeah,
sense.
I can see where Alex is going. Where Alex is going because he hasn't had a great year since that 2013 wild card season where they beat the Reds. He's just gone on downhill. But I think there's still something left in the tank for McCutcheon.
I honestly think McCutcheon being on a new winning team. The Giants, they were not a winning team, and the Yankees, he wasn't getting the playing time.
Yeah.
This is a mix of a winning team and playing time, and that is going to help him. And he has Bryce Harper in his outfield, one of the best players in the game at the moment.
One of the worst players in the game, in my opinion.
That is your opinion, and you're also a Nationals fan, so I don't know if we should be trusting your opinion. And Bryce Harper likes Odubel Herrera somehow.
Harper was one of the worst players in the game last year, and now you're all over him.
I did not say that. Bryce Harper has been one of my favorite players for the past 7 years.
That's absolutely false, Nick.
That is not false. I have a Harper jersey in my closet right now, and I'll be getting a new one, except it will not be a Nationals jersey.
Now, I know Harper. Go ahead.
Just pissed off. Like, was like, dude, like, why? Like, why would you leave us? When you say, I want to stay in here, and then we offer you a contract, you say no. He's like, no, I don't want to be here anymore. That's what we're mad about.
Well, that was obviously a false comment. That was a John Tavares comment right there. He had to say that. He had no choice. I mean, what are you going to say? You're going to say, I hate this city? That makes no sense.
He even said, I want DC to get another title. He literally said that. So just remember that.
And that is called a blunder. I'm sorry you can't appreciate that.
Well, he's coming to Philadelphia already. He's coming retarded.
No, I know I can see where Alex is going. Just right after the home run derby, he said that DC was the best chance and he wanted to stay there forever. And now he just leaves, which is probably going to be very tough on Nationals fans when he comes back to National Park.
On April 2nd.
Shit out.
Yeah.
I don't think the DC fans have the capacity to boo Bryce Harper because there's not enough of them.
Nick, your famous has been gone since 2011. Shut the fuck up.
2011. I mean, I definitely don't agree with that since we averaged approximately 35,000 fans a game last year. So this is a very interesting comment that I'm hearing.
Your team actually won for once. You haven't been over 500 since 2011. So
let's remember this team once played in a country that doesn't even care about baseball.
It's a different team, Nick. Just remember.
Actually, it's the same exact team. They were founded in 1969 as the Montreal Expos, and then they moved to DC.
I'm saying it's a different team, different organization, different. I know it's the same franchise. I know it wasn't the same franchise. It's a different team, different organization.
That's very arguable.
Just remember, Nick, that you spent all that money for him for 13 years. So,
but let's just remember before we didn't sign Harper, all we were being talked about is how we didn't spend the stupid money comment, and then we spent the stupid money, and now people are hating us on spending stupid money.
You spent retarded money.
That's very offensive to retarded people.
No, it's not. You leave laughing, but you can't hide it.
Oh, it's hilarious. I'm just saying.
Just remember, the thing is of Harper is that
I'm very excited for Harper because in his 13 years, he will finally make an NLCS, which is an amazing accomplishment for a man from DC to make an NLCS.
Do you think in the first year?
I never said the first year. I said in his 13-year contract.
Said the first year.
I said in his 13-year contract. I don't think you were listening. You're playing FIFA 19 right now while we are doing a very sophisticated podcast. So you were playing FIFA.
No,
you were.
Now with the uprising of the Braves, you think that they will make an ALCS within 13 years? I mean, it's obviously possible.
The Braves are the best team in the division. Let's not be.
Oh yeah, I look at that team. I see Braves and that's the top dog. The Phillies are behind.
Yeah, the Phillies and the Nationals are the next tier. That's the Mets. That's the Mets.
No. Naturally, I had the Phillies. Okay, yeah, you may have Harper, we have Newton, etc. But you have one pitcher and one pitcher in the bullpen. You have no one else.
That is absolutely false.
Nola and Arrieta could, depending on how Arrieta pitches this year, I think it could be a very.
The way he did last year, you have no starting pitching besides Nola.
He also had an injury last year, and I feel like you're not remembering this cool guy. His name's Zach Eflin, Nick Pivetta.
Pivetta is okay.
Pivetta, Pivetta's maybe a solid number 4 starter.
You know who Pivetta is better than, though? Pivetta is better than your return from Nick Pivetta, which was Jonathan Papelbon.
At least Papelbon actually did something here.
That is very arguable.
I mean, no, before the whole Harper choking incident, he was consistent. He didn't blow the stage. He was getting locked down.
Actually, Papelbon should be the most loved man in DC right now if this whole hating Harper thing is true. I mean, think about it.
No, but these are okay. But these
Debate more.
Harper's the greatest national ever. I'm just like, no, he's not. I still think it's Sergio. Sergio's done way more like in the past 2 years than Harper did in the past 6.
Choked the series versus the Cubs.
Just to give you guys a quick recap of MLB signings, obviously Harper signed, Blue Jays signed Bud Norris, Blue Jays signed Clay Buchholz or Clay Buttholes, depending on the side you're on. Mets signed Carlos Gomez, which is probably a bigger pickup than most people would think, and
Minor league deal.
and Padres signed Adam Warren.
So outfield piece. He still hit.
Yeah, that's just a bigger outfield piece that they've been missing for the past 12 years.
Especially the Cespedes injury. That's like a big deal.
Minor league deal.
He could still come up.
You always have depth. I mean, that's like 6 outfielders. That doesn't mean all of them are in the outfield this year. You don't have 5 outfielders in there.
This isn't little.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But definitely it'll be a big pickup. Is giving them options for the Mets. And the Mets, obviously, their big question is if they're going to be good, that means they have to be healthy.
Which is something they haven't had in years.
Yeah.
They have a lot of pressure on them. Because, like, Brody Van Wagner just, like, went in and, like, blew it up, basically. Like, he traded, like, the future for this year. They spent on Cano and Diaz. I mean, Diaz is a solid guy. The 2015 Nationals is, like, build a juggernaut, and they can easily flop. Like, it should be interesting. I think there's a lot of pressure, especially on DeGrom and Syndergaard if they want those big contracts.
If they're deciding to stay, because I don't see any of those two staying if they continue to suck.
I think DeGrom stays in New York because it's just the way his age is. But I think Syndergaard would leave once his contract and arbitration is up.
Honestly, I would love.
If you're a player, though, I honestly don't see why you would want to go into this freaking atrocious free agency market that we call a market. It is terrible. I don't know why you would.
Now they just got extended.
Exactly, because he doesn't want to be.
He wants the money.
He doesn't want to be in this shit show of a free agency market.
And then that's something to Rendon, and like Rendon and that's like apparently like he had discussions all of a sudden, which is a good thing because I honestly have Rendon over Harper in my lineup right now because the way Rendon hits and the way he fields, he's a better overall player than Harper is. Because Harper's a one-dimensional player right now. He used to be a 5-tool, now he's a one-dimensional player.
He was never truly a 5-tool player.
But things you could argue he was, but now he's not. He's definitely just a slugger. That's it.
That's kind of all he ever was, to be fair.
No, you look at his rookie year, like he had like.
His rookie year.
But no, it's also about the funny thing is that people say, "Oh, you guys are screwed about Harper and stuff." It's like, no, we're not. Okay, I literally looked at a thing yesterday. It was Soto and Harper, both the 19 seasons. Soto hit the same amount of home runs as Harper in less amount of games. Better average, better on base, better strikeout to walk ratio. Soto doesn't have the speed as Harper did when he was younger, but like that could easily change. He's a better defender than Harper was. He's definitely, and he did in less games. Harper came up in April, Soto came up like late May.
Yeah, which you could also say that would make those batting average numbers and those numbers skewed. If he came up 2 months later, that would definitely change those numbers. Imagine if he got in those first 2 months. Those numbers could have went down, they could have went up.
But also look at he started the year in Hagerstown. That's low single A for the Nationals organization. He went to the majors in like a month and a half, from low A to the majors. So, I mean, that just shows you how talented this kid is. And you've seen him. You've seen him play. Like he's gonna be a generational talent.
Definitely a very good player. He's gonna be one of the big players, big figures in the NL East for years to come.
The one person I'm excited for when he hits the market is Michael Conforto. I would love to have him in my lineup.
Who did you say?
Michael Conforto.
Michael Conforto. Yeah, I mean he's getting old. He's getting up there.
He's 26.
He's the same age as Bryce Harper.
He's getting old. He's getting old.
How is that old? But no one is calling Bryce Harper old. Everybody's calling Bryce Harper the youngest free agent ever.
Because he's still good. I just don't like Michael.
Conforto is a very good outfield.
I don't like him.
So bad. I would love to have him in my lineup.
I hate Conforto. With a passion. I don't know why. I just do.
What's the point of the Pirates? Conforto's got nothing. Everyone hates Conforto between me and Nick because we're the division rivals.
No, it's just he just didn't give me an autograph one day. One day I went to a game, so.
That is a terrible reason to hate a baseball player.
Well.
I've got Bryce Harper to be on baseballs. Like I still like the man until like 2 days ago.
You hate him now.
It's not that I hate him. I'm just disappointed in him.
You should be disappointed in Scott. You should be disappointed in Scott Boras, if anybody.
I'm more pissed. The thing is, people say, "Oh, why would you be pissed off in Rizzo?" And saying the opposite. Rizzo and them offered him $300 million, and he said no. And yes, the contract had the frills. I don't know if the 60 thing has been confirmed or true, but like it definitely had the frills in it. That's a guarantee. But then they met at Christmas, before Christmas, and then when I was up there in Philly, early January, they saying, "Oh, the Nats have offered Harper a new contract." And guess what? They never got back to him. They said, "Here's the contract," and then they never got back. Never got back. So basically, Harper cut the tie with the Nats. So I'm more pissed off at Bryce and Boris than would be at our front office, because the front office did what they could, and they said, "Fuck this, we're not gonna play this game." And they got Gomes. They made sure they offered them short up. Eden's healthy. They said Roberson and Soto are gonna be their starting outfielders. They got Dozier. They got Corbin. And now, we only said 2 weeks ago about the interesting Kimball show. That's not true. And like today, the interesting Kimball. So it's not like this team's like bad without it. You know it. This team is built to go on a playoff run.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting scenario we have here from him switching from one team to other in the division, especially a team that, kind of brought him into the MLB. Ridiculed him, and Cole Hamels ridiculed this man into the league pretty much, and everybody hated him in Philadelphia. And now, for whatever reason, he's decided to sign here, which is an interesting.
You have options. This is the only team that can compete in that window, because the Giants are competing. I'm going to coach the game over the past surprise.
Yeah, I mean the Giants aren't.
He kind of have the Nats, so like that was like his only long-term option.
Yeah, the Giants aren't going to be competing for at least 5-6 more years. So I mean that would be a terrible. There's no rebuild that takes time.
No mining system.
Hey, we could have. Juan Soto's 19 years old. I mean, those guys come around.
Yeah, but I don't know. We can't defeat that yet.
Obviously.
And I think one thing everyone's overlooking, especially the guys who hate Harper, is that he didn't take 34. He left 34 for Roy Halladay. He was a sign of respect, and that's something that I respect him a lot more for. I don't know, ALec, if that made you respect him even more.
I don't care what number you wear. I mean, yeah, I love Roy Halladay. I don't care if you wore 34 or not. It doesn't matter what you wear. It's not a big deal. Like, yeah, like I'm not saying it's not like respectful, but like it's a big deal. It's like, well, it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, he's respectful. Like everyone should. But like, if I say, "Oh, he's wearing 34, he's not wearing 34 because of Roy Halladay," it's like I don't give a shit what number he wears. He go with number 99 and have me on it. I don't give a shit. Like me.
Well, obviously, as a Nationals fan, you don't care. But if you're a Phillies or Blue Jays fan, that is something that matters to you. Even Blue Jays fans respect that.
The Blue Jays fan. He was 32 in Toronto.
Doesn't matter. He was still a Blue Jay. He was still a legend in Toronto.
But still, though, it doesn't matter what. That makes no sense.
Why would it shouldn't matter to you? He doesn't want it to matter to you. He wants it to matter to the people in Philadelphia, the people that he wants to buy his jersey so he can make money off them. He doesn't give a fuck about what you guys think.
I know this is he trashed us. I'm just like, man, I told you about Rizzo today. Rizzo watched it, he was trashing, and Rizzo turned on the TV and said, "Fuck this." He's like, he walked out and he said, "We'll see what happens, you piece of ass." You're an ass, and he is, because basically the trashing a city that brought you up and groomed you to make this happen, and then all of a sudden you start turning back on them and trash them. It's and then people say, "Oh, Jason Wolf did exactly." He's like, "Well, Jason Wolf and Bryce Harper are different comparisons."
Jason Worth did do the same thing.
No.
And Jason Worth won a World Series. Bryce Harper hasn't even made it to the NLCS yet, so big difference.
But there's also Jason Wolf. Though Jason Wolf wasn't like okay. The reason why the Nats signed Jason Wolf is because like they didn't even offer him a contract. Philly did nothing. They said, "Okay, we don't want Wolf because they got young guys."
That is absolutely false. Philly did offer him a contract. It just wasn't as much as DC, and apparently he thought, what? It was like, I'll look it up right now. Oh, you guys make up some filler time on looking up Jason Worth's proposed contract.
Yeah, just to give you guys some quick sports while they're looking up stuff. As a Pirates fan, I could really care less about what happens with Bryce Harper. Hopefully he has a hell of a good year. He always hits his best in small ballparks, and this is a very small ballpark for him to hit well.
But if you notice, he's a very inconsistent hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's like one, like, okay, like, past couple months, like, it's April and he goes bananas bananas. Then like you get to like May, June, July, it's like you can't have a boat. You can't hit a boat. Like you can't have a ball for boat pattern. And then
Yeah.
you get to August, you get the heat wave. September and October is like mediocre.
Yeah.
So I got the contract up. They offered him a $60 million for 5-year contract, which wasn't nearly as much as decent.
Yeah, but when was that contract offered?
That contract was offered immediately after the season ended.
Yeah, he's on what? Yeah. Okay, but you can't compare him with 60 million. And things with the Nats and what difference between Harper and Philly. And but things with Philly though is that we were shocked when we saw no opt outs in 13 years. We were like, you're fucking kidding me, right? Like you want to go to Philly for 13 years. Like,
That's the thing that I think is going to be the biggest mistake in this deal is no opt out because I don't see McCutcheon staying for this long, but he's going to leave by All-Star break.
McCutcheon can't stay this long. He doesn't have the longevity to stay this long.
Okay, it doesn't have a McCutcheon though. It's that there's no way in 13 years the Phillies can the Astros and the Cubs now have like a steady stream of process coming up. There's no way in hell that's happening. I mean, the Phillies farm system is like solid, but it's not a top 10 farm system. Watching with the Braves, we have like Acuna, Swanson, Albies, fucking Evans, Newcomb, and Soroka coming up, and they have a fertile farm system. But I also forgot Freeman. So they seem like that. They're built to win for 10 years because they have major talent, and they have a farm system coming up that's like ready to, it's like knocking on the door. Same with the Nats. Like the Nats have a very top success farm system, which is bad and good. So they have major talent ready to come up for 5 or 6 years, but then they have no one else afterwards. Like teams with Philly, though, like Philly's top prospect for the Via Mutual trade, he was 18 years old. 18, he was in like single A. So they don't have a safe stream of process coming up, which is a problem.
Yes, definitely a problem.
Yeah, and just to give you guys a quick update on the scores, Yankees lost to the Pirates 7-8. Tigers beat the Braves 7-4. Orioles beat the Red Sox 9-1. Cardinals beat the Marlins 4-3. Nationals beat the Twins 10-6. Phillies destroyed the Rays 11-3. Rays beat the Blue Jays 6-5. Astros beat the Mets 8-7. Angels destroyed the Reds 11-2. Athletics beat the Indians 1-0. White Sox beat the Rockies 10-6. Mariners lost to the Royals 8-0. Brewers beat the Cubs 7-4. Giants tied with 0 with the Rangers, and Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 5-6.
Yeah, so I think we'll be saying goodbye to our guest here as we move on to other subjects.
One more thing. According to inside sources, Nationals and Craig Campbell are near a deal.
That would make sense. I've heard rumors.
What did they say? Sorry.
Craig Kimbrell and the Nationals are nearing a deal.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
You have Doolittle and Campbell in the back 2 innings of that bullpen. Oh my God, this should be a good bullpen.
That'd be really nice. I wouldn't be surprised. And one of you, what between one of you two?
March Madness next.
Yeah, and just before we end baseball, I think the Nationals or probably even the Phillies more so should get Dallas Keuchel. I've been saying this forever. This would really help, especially. Definitely the Phillies need him then. One lefty in their rotation, and someone to help you, so it's not just Nola and Arrieta.
I'm actually curious. Nick, who's your lefty?
Oh, we don't have a lefty in the rotation.
Oh, that's the problem. Okay.
Okay, bye, Mr. Geis.
The only thing about it, though, I see Keuchel going to the Reds, actually. It just makes more sense.
I would hope not, because, well, it would, but I would hope not.
Okay, but the Pirates are going to be in rebuild mode, so you have nothing to worry about. So you're not going to be competitive for the next 5 or 6 years, so don't have to worry about teams being more competitive.
We're going to be in...
You guys wasted your top prospect on Chris Archer, who will be leaving after this year.
I think Archer's going to do a lot better this year.
I can tell you that.
He had a.
Bye, Mr. Geis. We will talk soon, hopefully on another podcast.
Yes, thank you for him.
Problem.
And thank you for him for joining us for a podcast. Just to let you guys know, we're open for people to join our podcast. If you guys watch and you guys want to talk sports, please do contact us, and John we'll discuss sports. But we're gonna move on to college basketball. Just a quick note: I was just watching while you, Nick, and and ALec were debating on stuff. Roy Williams, head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, collapsed during the game against Clemson. At Clemson, he
I
probably
promise you that did not happen while we were talking because I got that information about an hour and a half before this podcast started.
no, like I read it. Sorry, I read it. I read it while you guys were talking, and just the reason why I'm bringing this up, not because it's very important. I mean, I know he's getting old, but it's a sign of respect that everyone gave him a standing ovation after he left, since the game was in Clemson. But that is a good segue into college basketball today. Giving you a quick top 25 look. Top 4 kind of stay the same: Gonzaga, UVA, Duke, and Kentucky. Now, this is going to be very interesting because Duke may not get a number 1 seed.
That is true because you know what? Zion Williamson got injured, and that apparently we found out that Zion Williams is the only reason this team was winning, which I think a lot of people did not think was true. Apparently, that is the only reason they were winning. And now it looks like Duke is probably going to end up on the 2 line, which could allow Virginia to get a one seed in the East, which would allow them to play their Sweet 16 Elite 8 games if they are to make it in Washington, D.C., just 3.5 hours from campus.
Yeah, and that would be very huge. And there's a lot of things. I don't know if I discussed this in an earlier video or not, but I've gotten so many different rumors about Zion Williams, whether he's going to be sitting out for the rest of the year, going back to play, or going straight to the NBA. There's a lot of rumors, and this team depends on Zion because they do well with Zion. And the 23-4 lost 2 games without him today. Just giving you some quick score updates of the games that already happened. Number 2, Virginia trouted Pittsburgh 73-49. Michigan State lost to Indiana 63-62. Michigan State's a 6th seed. LSU as a 13 seed beat Alabama 74-69. 15 Kansas beat Oklahoma State 72-67. 18 Florida State beat NC State 78-73. Penn State lost to 19 Wisconsin 61-57.
Which was a bad BS call at the end because Penn State would have been a big win for them.
Yeah, I didn't see the game. Number 7, Tennessee upset Kentucky 71-52. Purdue Boilermakers beat Ohio State 86-51. Wofford 85-64 over Samford. Duke 87-57 over Miami. So it is proven that they can win games. Texas Tech beat TCU 81-66. UCF upset Houston at home. At Houston, 69-64. Rutgers upset Iowa 86-72. North Carolina beat Clemson 81-79. We still have Gonzaga and St. Mary's at 10 o'clock. Nick, do you want to go over the games that are happening now?
Yeah, so we have some big games going on right now. The big one is there's a big one going on in the districts right now. Seton Hall and Georgetown, Big East basketball, double overtime. Okay, and this is a big game for both these squads, both on the bubble. And this game's being played in the Capital One Arena in Washington. And these are 2 teams that trail St. John, Xavier, Marquette, and Nova for what would be the 1 seed in the Big East. I don't see either of these teams getting it. But Seton Hall does play Marquette and Villanova before the season's over, the 2 best teams in the Big East. Georgetown will play DePaul and Marquette. So these teams do have some challenges ahead of them. And the Big East, this has been a rough year for them, but maybe they could still get 3 to 4 teams in. Not, assuring that, but it is a possibility. We got some Ivy League action with Columbia taking down Yale at the moment. That might not last for long. But Kansas State beating Baylor at the moment for some Big 12 action. That is Milan's conference. And Cincinnati, a ranked team, taking down Memphis in the American Athletic Conference. And some Georgia-Florida action in the South, with Georgia winning that one with 11 minutes to go in the first half.
Just going back to what I said. I know I was talking about all the sports scores, and I bet you everyone paused and thought, who the hell is Wofford? And that's what I thought early in the year. Who is Wofford? They are 24 in the tournament, ranked, and they are somehow good. They're 26-4. I don't know why. They've played really. They're like Buffalo. They played really crappy teams like ETSU, the Citadel, VMI, UNC Greensboro. So this is another team that, like Buffalo, will not survive in the March Madness tournament. Yet they're a pretty good seed that they will have.
Yeah, I mean, Wofford is an interesting school. They play in South Carolina, a school a lot of many people did not hear about until a few years ago. And this program has been really good the last few years, made a few tournament appearances, made a few upsets. I honestly think Wofford could win a game or two. This is a very good team. Um,
They're going to be
I
a
mean, I'm
5 seed. Just to let you guys know. They're going to be a 5
that,
seed.
that's pretty fair. Wofford is a very good team.
But
I
they've
think
played no
Wofford
one good. That's the thing. They haven't played anyone good. I know they've been
doesn't matter if they
strong.
haven't played anybody good.
Yeah.
Duke lost to Virginia Tech, and they might get a 2
Okay,
seed.
they lost. They played one good team, and that was Kansas when they were number 2, and they lost. Got crushed. They lost to Mississippi
They're
State.
Wofford. I mean, here's the thing. You're being unfair to Wofford. Wofford is a regional school from South Carolina. They don't recruit outside of the Carolinas. They don't recruit. Kansas recruits worldwide. The Wofford is recruiting out of all the 3 stars and 4 stars out of North Carolina and South Carolina. It's totally unfair to compare Kansas to Wofford.
No, I'm
whatsoever.
not saying like I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying that come tournament time, yeah, you might play a lower team than you since you're going to be a 5 seed, saying you stay in the top 25. But when you play better teams, you're not going to be prepared for this. You may not even be prepared for the team you play.
I just think you're really underestimating Wofford, who I honestly think is a pretty good team. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I guess you guys all thought Loyola Chicago was going to be terrible last year. And you know what I said? I said this team could make the Sweet 16. You know what they made the Final Four. So, I mean, I'm not saying Wofford's going to make the Final Four. I'm just saying don't underestimate these smaller teams that you maybe haven't heard of before.
Yeah, and definitely after, like you said, Loyola Chicago, UMBC being Virginia last year, the number 1 seed overall. So yeah, Selection Sunday is about 2
weeks
weeks,
away.
2 weeks from tomorrow, and that'll be huge to see who will get the number one seeds right now. I'm assuming Gonzaga will get the West, the UVA will get the East, Kentucky will get the Midwest, and Duke could get the South. Maybe North
Yeah,
Carolina.
it's gonna be a fun tournament.
And
Definitely.
and definitely maybe UNC can get the North.
Yeah, I mean, it could be I think it's going to be a very interesting Selection Sunday, as it always is. Always a fun day of the year, and it lands on St. Patrick's Day this year. So it's
Yeah, I'm trying to look up right now games for March Madness that come to Connecticut
You guys have the
because
Hartford games. You guys have a 5-12 game.
yeah.
2 5-12 games and 2 6-11 games.
So where is Wofford exactly? Do you know?
Spartansburg, South Carolina.
So they'll probably play in the South. So we won't be able to see them because if they're a 5 seed and they were playing in the East, then we could probably see them.
Yeah, and that could be a fun team to watch. Definitely.
And coming forth in the tournament. Yeah, it's Selection Sunday. Please do focus because this is going to be a very interesting March Madness tournament to see because we haven't seen greatness out of any of these teams. I mean, you could say Duke, but that's with the healthy Zion Williams, and we got to see how that was going to go. But definitely like that. So we're going to move on to the NHL. Nick, like you said in the intro, as of right now, neither Pennsylvania teams are going to make the playoffs. And since 08 and 09, the Penguins have had the most playoff appearances in the NHL. So this is going to be huge if neither teams make the playoffs, especially for the Penguins, who's made it like.
Yeah, and I'm not counting out either of these teams. The Penguins are tied for that last spot, and the Flyers are only 5 points out. So I'm not underestimating either of these teams. And the Penguins are winning 4-1 right now in Montreal, a very good team that has the first wild card right now. And Carolina is tied with Florida. So if Carolina wins that game, Columbus lost it. So Columbus lost it, which is huge for Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins today, they will be in the back of the playoffs. But there's going to be a lot of jumbling around. And I would not count out either of the Pennsylvania teams with still a month to go. And then obviously you still have Carolina. Carolina could still get a wild card even though they're third in the Metro right now. Montreal is in the wild card race. Columbus is in the wild card race. And Montreal needs a wild card because the Atlantic is a lot better than the Metro this year. So we'll see how that goes. Tomorrow, the Flyers, the Capitals, the Blue Jackets all play. And the Blue Jackets have a very tough game at home versus the Jets. And the Flyers have a very tough game at the Islanders, who I do not respect their franchise or their fan base whatsoever at the moment for what they did to John Tavares this past week. And the Capitals get what should be an easy game at Madison Square Garden. But the Rangers are an interesting team this year nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you're saying you're not counting out any of the Pennsylvania teams, but I am. I'm counting out the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think they're going to make it this year. And I'm going to tell you why. They've been so inconsistent, and we've talked about this a lot. They got a huge rebound win at Columbus following that sad loss at the Stadium Series against the
Really,
against
I
the
actually thought that was a pretty happy loss for your franchise.
yeah, and then they came out scoring 5 goals, 5-2 at Columbus, and then they're winning 3-2 in the third period, and they lose that game in Buffalo yesterday, 4-3 in overtime. This is not a team that will make the playoffs, and if they do make the playoffs, they're not going anywhere just because you can't finish games. They didn't finish a game against the Flyers when they were up 3-1 with 2 minutes left to go in the game. They definitely didn't finish the game against Buffalo, and if they somehow lose this game against Montreal, even though they're up 4-1, this is going to be very, very upsetting for this Pittsburgh team. And if they need to make the playoffs or show that they have, because they have the talent, with Kessel, Malkin, Crosby, Gensel. This is a team that has talent that can go somewhere. We've seen them make the playoffs, make a Stanley Cup run, win the Stanley Cup. We've seen it. We know that they can do it. They're just not going to their fullest potential, and they need to start now. It's March. It's the crucial time before April hockey starts, playoff hockey. Best sports, best playoff sports we've ever seen. I've ever seen, arguably. But you got to start now. Both teams, Flyers and Penguins, got to start now if they want to make a playoffs run.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. For whatever reason, I don't know how, but the Egghead and Barry Trotz has allowed the Islanders to be first in the Metro in that dump of the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum and the Barclays Center, a basketball stadium, which is a beautiful basketball stadium, but it's no place for hockey. The Capitals, they're, for winning the Cup last year, they're having a decent year. I feel like a lot of people they're a little under the radar. People aren't talking about the Capitals. So we'll see what happens with them. I think the Capitals could make the second or third round, could even go back to the Cup. I'm not underestimating that. Because even though Tampa has 102 points, I have seen Tampa choke away so many Eastern Conference Finals, and then they went to the Cup that one year and they lost. The Lightning have so many good teams and haven't done anything with them. So we'll see what happens. They are becoming the new Capitals. Oh, wait, the Blue Jackets have still yet to win a playoff series, so maybe hold back on that. And the Blue Jackets are the only NHL team to not win the playoff series. So, but the point is, there's still a lot of hockey. Not a lot.
Even Vegas, that's the sad thing. Even Vegas has won a playoff series, and
Vegas won 3 playoff series,
and they're in the second year of their franchise.
Vegas is going to make the playoffs this year. They're third in the Pacific right now.
Yeah.
And the closest team to them is 8 points behind them, so I don't see them getting caught anytime soon. But again, it's going to be a very interesting end to the season here. Again, tomorrow we got the Flyers playing at Nassau Veterans Memorial, and we got the Blue Jackets playing the Jets, and we got the Capitals playing the Rangers. And then Monday is kind of like an off day for all the wild card teams. But Tuesday, right back at it. So very exciting time for hockey and college basketball and baseball and
basketball hasn't really done anything.
And the NBA. I almost forgot about the NBA. The Sixers are taking on the Warriors right now in what has been a very good game, actually. I believe the score is, I'm just saying, I believe the score is 25-24 Sixers, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And with just 1 minute left in the second overtime, Georgetown is leading Seton Hall by 1 point, for all wondering. And 2 Philadelphia schools faced off earlier today, St. Joe's and LaSalle. St. Joe's won that game 72-62, and Villanova beat Butler in their last game in Philly for this season.
Yep, that sounds about right. Just going back to hockey, because we switched topics very quickly. We haven't really
covered that.
Yeah, we just haven't really talked about the Western Conference, which no one really likes. Calgary.
That's very arguable. I mean, I think a lot of people from a lot of people from Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis, Calgary, San Jose, Vegas, Dallas, Minnesota, Colorado, Arizona, Chicago, Edmonton, Vancouver, Anaheim, and LA all really like the Western Conference.
Okay, fine. Well, talking about now the Western Conference, Calgary, San Jose, Vegas, top 3 in the Western. And then Central, we have Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis. Remember last year, Nick, when I said I hated Winnipeg?
Yeah, I don't know why you said that, because Winnipeg's a great franchise.
Yeah, well, I have a new team that I hate now. It's Calgary. I really hate them.
What's with you and the Canadian teams? The Canadians are the only...
Okay, here's the reason why I don't like Canadian teams. Especially with any Canadian team. You know how we listen to the national anthem? Yeah, we have to listen to the American one. But now you go up to a Canadian team, and you go into their place. Now you have to listen to the Canadian national anthem, which is so bad. No offense to Canadians.
It's actually a really good national anthem. It's actually
Oh, Canada. Really? That's cool? No, boring.
I mean, the U.S. one is just... I mean, none of the national anthems are that interesting, but they're remembered to your country.
Borat's national anthem is pretty good. If you haven't seen Borat, please do watch it. It's hilarious, but it's very inappropriate. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting playoff run. Top in the league right now, Tampa Bay, Calgary. Boston's looking pretty good right about now, and they're turning the corner in a right time.
Yeah, Boston always has a good team, so I mean I'm not that surprised. But they didn't lose a single regulation game in the month of February, so a great month for them and great. Obviously a terrible city to be winning in, but
Yeah, well, that's probably gonna wrap it up for right now. We wanted to get you guys
Oh,
up.
I do need to say one more.
Oh,
thing.
we have
One
one
more
more thing.
So last night I'm talking to someone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
So last time I'm talking to someone, and we decided we needed to make a big trip. It's not Milan, don't worry, but it's someone I know. And we decided, hey, we need to make a big trip. We're watching some spring training baseball, and obviously, when you watch spring training baseball, you want to be at spring training baseball. Am I right?
Yeah.
So next year, Tampa is hosting some March Madness games. March 19th and the 21st, Tampa is hosting some March Madness games, and obviously March 19th and the 21st, there will be spring training games. So we have decided that in the next, in a few months, obviously once baseball season's over and stuff, we will start planning a trip to go to, do a long weekend, about 4 or 5 days, go to 3 spring training games, go to a March Madness game, and it'd be a really fun trip. And I'll try to get some videos when I'm there. But in the near future, I'll try to take some pictures of Citizens Bank Park for all that haven't attended. A truly beautiful ballpark. And then when I go to Chicago in August, I will
Are
take some
you
photos.
going to Wrigley or are you going to U.S. Cellar?
Going to both.
Going to both. I love Wrigley, U.S. Cellar. I've never been to U.S. Cellar. But yeah,
But it's terrible.
yeah, I heard it's not that good. Wrigley is nice.
I also heard the Trop is terrible. It's honestly not that bad.
I've been outside the Trop. I haven't been inside of it. U.S. I'm going to a new stadium this year. I just don't remember which one. I really like Kauffman. I don't know, like a lot of people say Kauffman sucks, but I love Kauffman Stadium.
Kauffman kind of sounds dumb. Like a mini golf course or something. That sounds
Mini.
dumb.
Okay, there's mini golf. There's batting cages. There's carousels. A huge fountain that's fun to look at.
I mean, honestly, besides the batting cages and the fountain, the 2 other ones don't make any sense. Those have nothing to do with baseball.
I mean, for the little kids, you want to. And
give me your phone or something. I don't know.
and here's the thing that's really good about Kauffman Stadium. What's the worst thing, Nick? What's the thing you hate going to an outside Sunday game in August?
In August?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a bad game or something. I don't know.
No, it's just the heat, right? And there's no bad places for the heat at Kauffman.
If you get them in the heat, that's your fault. You didn't do your research. You got to get your seats in the shade. That's it.
I think the best thing is when you go to crappy. This is why I love when I go to crappy teams, is you can buy really bad seats, and then go sit in the nice seats because no one will be there.
Yeah, but security will be there.
They don't care. Like especially at the XL Center, right? You and the Wolfpack aren't like that good. I will buy like $10 seats, maybe even 5, and then sit like next to the ice.
The Wolfpack are horrendous. They're nothing like the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
Well,
we're not talking
we
about
beat you guys, but I don't really care. It's not we. Sorry, they beat you.
AHL.
Yeah.
That's the Rangers, brother.
See, here's the thing. This is the thing that sucks about Connecticut, right? What's the closest sport that we would ever get that would be a major league team is soccer. And now we're getting
Actually, it'd be hockey, and you had a hockey team, and you had.
Well, now, because they don't trust us with hockey anymore, and it would be soccer. Yeah, and it'd be soccer, and we are getting a minor league soccer team. They don't trust us with a major league. We're getting a minor league soccer team.
That's horrendous.
Is that
actually the MLS team just started today?
Yeah.
Tottenham also played Arsenal for all you Premier League people out there. I got you. I was watching. I was up at 7:30 in the morning watching some English soccer.
Yeah, I don't do that. All I know is Barcelona won in the El Clasico.
That is very true.
That people love to watch. I don't watch because I don't really like to watch soccer.
Anti-soccer, even though he's like.
I'm not anti-soccer. I'm just anti-Premier League because I get bored. I can watch the World Cup. That's which we will give you guys our research, and we'll give you guys a big World Cup preview because the Women's World Cup's coming up soon.
I'm not doing a preview on that.
I will do a preview because I love the Women's World Cup because I am in love with Alex Morgan.
That is so messed up on so many levels, so I'm definitely not going to be a part of this now.
What is messed up about that?
I mean, you are trying to bang a professional.
I'm not saying I'm trying to bang her. I'm just saying.
That's kind of what you just
I just said I think she's hot.
I'm officially out on the Women's World Cup podcast, so don't get excited for my fun antics on the Women's World Cup podcast, which I would have so much fun on, but I won't be doing it anymore through that comment.
Okay, don't tell me you have celebrities that you do not have a crush on.
Absolutely not. Why would I have that? Would be messed up.
Then you have not lived.
They are married.
Have you ever heard of celebrity crushes?
No, they're married. Why would I? That makes no sense.
Okay, that's just something that like you just have a crush on, and you're not expecting to go. We'll save that for another day.
Yeah, you can have some fun with this one day. But okay,
could.
point is, end of the podcast. See y'all next week. We'll actually see you midweek for a midweek video. Yeah, hopefully.
And we'll probably do a ranking or something fun because we haven't done those in a while. So give us something to rank because we will love to rank. We'll rank anything.
Georgetown won in double overtime. Oh, for a Big East win. And that is all I got for you today.
Yeah, we'll rank. We'll give us some rankings. We'll rank anything. If it's food, sports, drinks, anything. But we'll see you guys hopefully soon for a midweek podcast.